So, Siralim Ultimate just released 2 days ago for PC in full access and will be coming to mobile and consoles in the near future. That said, the Siralim franchise is pretty unique in its execution, especially with modern day monster taming games, and I definitely think that there are a few things that anybody thinking about buying the game should know before they do, as depending on what you look for in a monster taming game will decide on whether or not you'll enjoy playing Siralim Ultimate. So this video isn't really a review, as despite the fact that I've put over 50 hours into the early access build, there's still a ton of content that I haven't actually experienced yet, but more so an overview of what to expect when playing the game and what not to expect. This will make a lot more sense once we dive into the meat of things, so stay tuned. Okay, so when I say that the game may not appeal to all types of monster taming fans, this is because of the way the game's world works. Siralim is an RPG, but unlike most RPGs, especially within the genre, the story does somewhat take a back seat to the gameplay, and while there is a ton of dialogue, the way the game actually plays out works more into this backseat idea I'm referring to. So Siralim Ultimate and its previous installments for that matter will have you situated in a castle, which will act as your sort of hub world with all of your necessary upgrade options and stuff like that, while the world you actually explore are these randomly generated realms that have various monsters to defeat, loot to acquire, bosses to overcome, and gods to appease, stuff like that. So while there is a sense of progression in that you can increase the depth of the realms in which you're exploring and make them more difficult, there is no set world to explore or familiarize yourself with, and while there is a story, the game is more focused on essentially the grind of looting, leveling up, conquering realms, unlocking new monsters and fusing them, crafting the best artifacts, getting the best spell gems, setting up your best fusions, decorating your hub world, etc. Now, none of this is to say the games are bad. I'd actually argue it's the opposite, in that Siralim and its prequels have actually mastered this formula, and I think a great comparison would be to a game like Dragon Warrior Monsters. In Dragon Warrior Monsters, much like Siralim, you have countless randomly generated areas to explore and monsters to tame, with a central focus on the hub world where the meat of the actual story lies. If you enjoy Dragon Warrior Monsters, I actually think you would love Siralim Ultimate. Playing DWM myself actually made me appreciate Siralim even more, but I will say at first, with Siralim being so complex and not having a typical world map and story-driven theme, it did take me a little bit of more time to get used to it, and once I got over that learning curve, it became something I really enjoyed, almost like an acquired taste, if you will. So if you are someone who's more into the Pokemon-like monster taming games, Siralim will be out there for you, though I do recommend checking it out regardless and seeing what you think. I also think that if you're someone who enjoys roguelike and roguelite games, you may also enjoy Siralim, as though it does not have permadeath, it does have a similar premise where a large amount of the game is based on randomization, and the depth progression kind of reminds me of what I've seen in some roguelikes. But anyways, guys, this was just a short video. I really did want to touch on this subject, as I have seen a lot of confusion in the comment section about what Siralim is and isn't. My goal is to have a video showcasing the basics of the game coming out later today, so definitely feel free to check it out when it does drop so you can gain a greater understanding of the basics. With that said, if you are a fan of Siralim or just the monster taming genre in general, definitely subscribe to the channel so you'll get notified when these types of videos come out. You can also follow me on Twitter at GymLeaderEd, check out our Discord, and you can also support me on Patreon if you are so gracious. Speaking of which, special thanks to our backers, especially our mythical tier, sexy boys being Jim Hamilton and StealCase. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.